Put this over here and let me make these bigger. Alright, here we go. Hey guys, it's Allie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips and tricks for your first day of college. And I'm actually going to be doing this video in 2 separate parts. I'm going to do today's video, which is going to be your 5 tips and tricks for before you get to your first day. And then I'm going to do next week's video on 5 tips and tricks for you on your first day and then beyond your first day. First, second, all those other days that you're going to have to do. Yeah, so definitely give this video a like if you learn or you take anything from this, if it helps you guys in any way, and definitely subscribe to this channel so you guys can get the part 2 for this in next week's video. So let's just get started. And then also, if you see me looking to the side over here, I have my laptop with all my notes for you guys. So I just didn't want y'all to think I wasn't paying attention. So tip 1 is definitely going to be to make a plan. You don't want to go to school with either not having a major. I know some people do general studies and stuff like that, which is fine. No matter what you're doing, make sure you have a plan. Talk with an advisor, get your different semesters lined up. And then also, one big thing when I went to school for the first time is that going straight to college out of high school, they give you your classes essentially. And just a huge thing is to know that you can always change that. You don't have to follow this one curriculum that they give you. There are going to be your certain classes that you have to take. And some of them you do have to take one before the other one or something like that. But it's not to the T exactly how you have to take them. If they have you scheduled, because a lot of the times right out of high school, they'll schedule you your first semester. If they schedule you 6 classes and you're not ready for that, you just want to take maybe 4, definitely do that. Talk to an advisor, tell them what you're comfortable with. You don't have to take all that at once. It may push you back a semester. You can maybe add other classes to different semesters if that's a possibility. But it's definitely not set in stone. So yeah, that would be my first thing, is to just have a plan, talk to an advisor, get any of the help that you can get as far as scheduling, because if you get into your classes and it's either too much, or if down the line you change your major or something, that can just make sure you talk to your advisor, because they're there for a reason. Make a plan with them and all that fun stuff. Number 2, when you're scheduling your classes, use Rate My Professor. It's ratemyprofessor.com, and it is the best tool for you to get an idea of the different professors that you're going to have, their teaching styles. Sometimes you even find out if you need the book or not, different things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not always right, and you may love a professor that somebody else hates. You may love how this professor teaches, whereas somebody else might hate it. It all depends, but it'll definitely give you a good idea going into it. And then also, kind of going back to 1, if you look at your schedule and you go to Rate My Professor and a professor for a specific class maybe doesn't have the best ratings, ask your advisor, or if you know how to do it, to log into your school where it has the list of classes and different professors, because 99% of the time the class you're taking is gonna have multiple professors. So Rate My Professor is a great tool to kind of give you an idea of what you're getting into, because I am a firm believer that your professor can make or break you. It's if you don't vibe with somebody, or if your learning technique isn't how they teach, you can really struggle. So Rate My Professor is a perfect way to kind of figure that out before you commit to the class and can't change it. So that would be my number 2. Number 3, and this is a huge one, and I fall victim of this. Pretty much every semester I still do this, and it's buying your textbooks before class, or buying your textbooks before you've either, reached out to the professor to make sure that you need it. But do not spend the hundreds of dollars on all these textbooks because you might not need them. Just because, your school has a textbook for this class does not mean that you need the textbook for the class, or even better yet, that the professor that you get is going to use the textbook. So definitely, if you're a planner and you want the book before your first day, just shoot the professor an email real fast and be like, hey, my name is so-and-so, I'm in this class that you're teaching. Are we going to need the textbook that's recommended, or, do we not need it? And then that also kind of gets me to another rule that is going to be in next week's video. But if you reach out to your professor before the first day of class, that just gives them a good idea of kind of what kind of student you're going to be, as far as you're taking that initiative to get answers, to kind of be better prepared than anybody else that's not asking. So that is definitely a big one. Do not buy your textbooks until you know 150% that you're actually going to need it. Number 4 kind of goes with the whole textbook thing, but even like supplies and things like that, wait until your first day of class. I know I'm one of those people that I love shopping for supplies, pens, notebooks, binders, paper. Like, I want to buy 50 packs of paper, 24 binders, 75 packs of pencils and pens, but don't do that because you don't know your teaching style of your professor. Some people, you'll get in there and it'll be 100% a lecture class. So you'll just have a professor that's talking. He won't give you any notes. He won't give you any PowerPoints. He'll tell you when the date, he or she will tell you when the date of the test is, and that's pretty much it. You're going to have to be on your own to either, buy the textbook that they may recommend, or just having a pen, pencil, and a notebook and just jotting pretty much everything down that they're going to say. And then kind of to the contrary, you may have professors that print out every PowerPoint to every lecture, and it's pretty much like verbatim as to what the professor in the lecture is saying. So, some you may need a notebook, some you may need a binder, some you may need a folder, I'm a super organized person, so a lot of my professors actually gave us PowerPoints, and I would do like the chapters that we were on, the chapters that specific test was on. I would put just those chapters in a folder, and then once we tested on it, I would hole punch it and stick it in a binder. So that way I didn't have like 57 chapters of paper, but then for the final, everything was still in one spot, and then a binder can hold way more paper. So I would say just wait to really buy anything unless you know 100% that you need it, because you may be buying stuff that you don't need, you may never need, you might need it down the line, but you really, truly, and honestly never know. So that would be number 4. And then number 5, which I actually didn't learn until probably like 2 semesters ago maybe, but a huge thing is to look for your syllabus. Your professor should put your syllabus up before the first day of class, and your syllabus is kind of like your know everything, know all. It is your kind of like your professor in paper form. So it's going to tell you your professor's name, where you can contact them. It usually will have dates of your assignments, your tests, different stuff like that. It'll tell you whatever textbook they do recommend, and it may even say, mandatory or just recommended. It'll say pretty much everything about the class that you need to know. And if you, again, are a planner like I am, and I have a calendar ready with me, like ready for all my classes syllabi to come out, just so I can write everything down in my calendar. If you want to write all your dates down, your due dates for everything that you have. If you want to know where your professor's office is, it'll usually have that, their contact number. It'll just have everything you need to know about the class in a few pages. And I mean, you can print it and keep it with you, or just familiarize yourself with it and be like. So that is my 5 tips and tricks for you guys for before your first day of college. I know that it took me a while to learn these. Like I said, it took me forever just to actually pay attention to a teacher's syllabus. So. But it definitely helps. So yeah, if this helped you guys out in any way, shape, or form, again, give it a like for me and subscribe so you can see next week's video, because it'll be the 5 tips and tricks for your first day or after. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.